Katie dear, go ask your papa if you can be a bride of mine. If he said yes, then we'll get married. If he said no, we'll run away. Oh, Willie dear, it's no use in asking. He's in his room taking a rest. By his side's a silver dagger to kill the one that I love best. Oh, Katie dear, go ask your mama if you can be a bride of mine. If she said yes, then we'll get married. If she said no, we'll run away. Oh, Willie dear, it's no use in asking. She's in her room taking a rest, and by her side's a silver dagger to kill the one that I love best. So he picked up that silver dagger, plunged it in his troubled chest, saying goodbye Katie, goodbye darling, I'll die for the one that I love best. Then she picked up that bloody dagger and plunged it in her lily breast, saying goodbye mama, goodbye papa, I'll die for the one that I love best. Howdy friends, today I'm going to walk you through my version of Katie Dear. This is a tried and true folk song, one that falls into the category of murder ballad if you're not familiar with it. It's a pretty moving number, pretty beautiful and tragic. The melody's pretty simple with a few interesting little twists to it, and as far as my arrangement goes, it's going to be should be pretty familiar to you if you've done a lot of my courses and done a lot of lessons with me. Otherwise you might find some interesting new techniques, especially in the right hand. Either way, we're going to break this down measure by measure right now, so come along with me. First things first, we want to make sure we're in the right tuning. I'm doing this out of the standard open G tuning, and I've capoed up to the 2nd fret so I can sing this in the key of A. So since I've moved the capo up to the 2nd fret, I've tuned the 5th string up a whole step up to an A. So let's get right into the tab. We're going to start with that first measure there, which is actually a pickup measure. Notice the first beat is a rest, so we would count it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And then we get right into that simple measure. All boom notes, all open strings. That takes us into the first official measure of the song right there where it hits the C chord. So we're going to go ahead and grab a C chord. You can grab the full open C chord as you should know it, like this, or you can just grab those first 2 strings, and I'm using my 1st and 3rd finger to do that, and I'm moving my middle out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. It's a little partial C chord there, that's what I'm using, and this measure goes like this. I'll play that a little more slowly for you and break it down a second. So we have a boom, chicka, then we have that drop thumb roll with a phantom stroke. So the first half of the measure is a straight basic strum, boom, chicka, Second half of the measure, start with that phantom stroke indicated by the X, is chicka, 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 chicka. So we have boom, chicka, chicka, chicka. Again, if you're familiar with my materials, you're probably familiar with this basic right hand pattern. It's going to be recurring through the whole song, so spend some time with this. If this is something new for you, to do a boom, chicka, and then this double thumb roll following right behind it. One more time, I'll play you that measure. On to the next measure, the second measure of the tune. Again, hopefully that makes sense. If the phantom stroke is a new concept to you, again, you might want to check out some of my other lesson materials. There's a lot of them out there that'll cover this phantom stroke and the boom chicka drop thumb roll thing that we're doing. If that's all new to you and it's prohibiting you from making it through this whole lesson, just send me an email and I'll help point you to the right direction to give you some other materials to get you caught up. Otherwise, we're going to move forward. So here's measure number 3. We're back on that open G chord. A couple more phantom strokes here. This might be interesting rhythmically for some of you. So we have, I'm going to count this like we would a standard measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's going to be like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So those phantom strokes falling on the second and the third beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Do that for you one more time, nice and slowly. And on to the next measure, the fourth measure of the tune. This should be pretty simple for you. Basic boom, chicka, strum. 2 boom notes on some open strings. We'll move on to the fifth measure of the tune here, and this is a repeat of the first measure. Now I say it's a repeat of the first measure, but technically I lied to you there because we do have an extra phantom stroke in this measure. This is interchangeable with the first measure. If you prefer to play it just the way it's written in the first measure, that's fine. You can consider this a variation on the exact same musical idea. But I'll go ahead and play it for you one more time, the fifth measure with both the phantom strokes. And from there we're sliding up. We hit the sixth measure there. We slide up to another C chord, because right there we're working out of that C chord shape, right? We slide up to a different voicing of that C chord that happens right here on the 5th frets of the first and second string. That's the partial chording, partial fingering of a C chord up the neck. And we'll play this on that measure. It should look and sound like this. Again, we got some phantom strokes in there. Boom, chicka, chicka. Creating a little interest in the rhythm with those phantom strokes. One more time. That takes us to the 7th measure. Nice, simple measure, mostly boom notes. Boom, 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 chicka. Take a look at the next measure, the 8th measure. Starts with a phantom stroke. Again, if you have a little trouble with these phantom stroke measures that are a little funky rhythmically, it can help to break it down a little bit using a standard counting. So again, I'll do a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and for you. That would be like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and again 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Alright, next measure you notice is truncated. It's just 2/4. That means just 2 beats in this measure instead of 4. And that's one of the interesting things about this song is when it's performed in this manner, which is a pretty common way to do it. You have an extra couple beats in there. And all we're doing is just playing a couple boom notes for that measure. And that's it. That's the 9th measure. Nothing to dwell on there. So we'll look at the 10th measure. We're back to the C chord. All this should look really familiar to you. The next 2 measures, the 10th and the 11th measures, are ideas we've already executed in previous measures. So I won't dwell on them too long. Here's the 10th. 11th. We're back up on those 5th fret notes, that alternate voicing of the C chord. That takes us to the 12th measure, the G chord, back on the open G chord. This is also a repeat from an earlier measure, I believe. Again, that's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let's go on to the next measure. The 13th is just a series of boom notes. That's going to drop us right down to that 7th chord as we work our way to the final stretch of this melody. There's nothing new going on here with our right hand. This is the same ideas that we've been using throughout the tune. Boom, chicka, drop, thumb, roll with a phantom stroke in there on the 3rd beat of the measure. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and that takes us to the final line of the tab, and we've got a series of boom notes again. A little drop thumb at the end. Look at our second to last measure here. Again, familiar right hand technique. We're just back to the G chord now. Boom, chicka, drop, thumb, roll. With a phantom stroke in there. Then our final measure is really kind of designed to loop us back into the top of this melody. Alright, so that's it for the measure by measure breakdown. This is pretty much exactly what I'm playing when I'm playing the instrumental break, as you heard and watched in the beginning of this video when I'm performing the song. And the backup that I'm doing when I'm just playing chord backup behind my vocals, it's a combination of just playing the straight chords, going boom, chicka, double thumb. I'm going to go ahead and play you the whole thing as written in the tab, nice and slowly.